Welcome back, all you sports and gambling fans out there. Today we're doing NHL betting coverage, and joining me here is Dave Golokhov, our SBR contributor. Now today we're covering the Western Conference power rankings in the NHL. All right, man, so these teams are the ones that at least we're favoring for the Western Conference, but out of all four of them that you have here, does either one of them come as a surprise?
Yeah, definitely surprises in the Western Conference. Nashville at the top, of course. It's a team that was supposed to be rebuilding, new head coach, new philosophy. They were supposed to be retooling a little bit, but they've shot up to the top of the standings, and right now, based on their goaltending play, are the favorite to win the conference. And they're also at the top of my power rankings as well. They just play so well at home. They're at the top of the NHL. You know, probably one of the best goaltenders in the league. They're scoring. Not too many flaws in this team's game right now, but we could see a little bit of a change come playoff time.
All right, they are favored at plus 450, and they're coming in at 41-15 for the season. Now, the second one on your list, man, is the 40-18 St. Louis Blues. Now, they have the same exact odds as the Predators in this case. Why do you think that they should actually get the number 2 spot in this one?
Yeah, I think if you're just going by how things are right now, I would give the second spot to the Blues. You know, you really got to look at all four teams. I know we're going to talk about the Kings and the Blackhawks in a minute, but it all factors in one conversation. The Kings, they're the reigning Stanley Cup champs. They haven't looked like that consistently enough this season. You know, they looked fantastic during this great 7 or 8 game winning streak. Now they've lost 3 straight again. Jonathan Quick does not look like a Vezina Trophy goaltender that can carry this team. As for Chicago, I mean, look, if this team plays like they can play, they're at the top of this list. There's no question. Nashville's got some experience issues in the playoffs. You know, question marks for these teams that, you know, put it all together in one year. Can they win the Cup? Usually not. St. Louis has some goaltending issues, and St. Louis can never beat Chicago. So if Chicago gets their shit together, they're the best team. But the problem is Chicago doesn't have their shit together right now. They can't score goals. They've been slumping, losing a bunch of times at home. You know, this has been a very average team since their hot start as well. They're about 500, or maybe even below 500 since since Christmas time. So Chicago's got some issues. So that's where the Blues come into the picture. I know you asked me about the Blues, but it's all kind of one puzzle here. And so if the Blackhawks aren't going to be there, if the Kings aren't going to be there, you start looking around and saying, who's got the best goaltender? Who's got the most playoff experience? Well, the Predators have the best goaltender, but the Blues have plenty of offense, plenty of good experience. You know, I think they're going to be neck and neck there with the Predators, as the odds indicate, if the Blackhawks and the Kings aren't really major factors.
But why do you think the bookies are giving so much love to the Blackhawks in this case? I mean, they're favored by 250. I mean, shouldn't it be a little higher in this case, considering that they haven't been playing that well?
Yeah, well, the issue with the Blackhawks is 2 things. Public perception. Even with the slumps, I don't know how many people are digging into the stats to see this is really a sub-500 team right now. Corey Crawford's been so-so. They're without Patrick Kane for 11 or 12 more weeks. Was the leading scorer in the NHL. You know, there's some flaws with this team, but the public perception is this team can turn it on and nobody's going to beat them if that's the case. And I believe that too. So that's why you have to give them a little bit of respect. There's also the fact that, you know, Nashville hasn't done it before. We're not talking about the defending champs here. It's a team that was all pieced together, you know, change of philosophy. We'll see what they do in the playoffs. Right now, they look good. St. Louis has failed in recent playoff runs as well, although they look like they're built for a run. Goaltending issues, who knows? Offense doesn't seem to show up in the playoffs. Those are concerns. Anaheim's got goaltending issues. Anaheim doesn't go far in the playoffs. I mean, you start going down the ranks, and there really isn't that many teams that you're really scared of, except for the Blackhawks. You know, if the Blackhawks play their best, nobody's going to get in their way. So that's why the Blackhawks are where they are in the odds.
All right, and your last team is the reigning champs, the Kings, man. They're 29-21 for the season so far. The odds have them at plus 1,000 favorites. And I go back to that point that you made about the 8-game winning streak. Now, the last time that they pulled off eight straight games in a row, They won the championship cup, man. What makes you think that they can't do it this time with the plus 1,000 odds? Pretty much sounds like a good bet there, man.
It's possible. I doubt it, though. I think this is a team that's just a bit different right now. I've been struggling to put my finger on it. You know, I personally want to pin a lot of this on Jonathan Quick. His numbers are just that great. He's been an average goaltender this year. But you take a look at his numbers last year, you know, stuff like his save percentage. It's actually not that different. It's a team that really turns it on in the playoffs. And if they get in, you just never know. You know, they're like the Blackhawks. This is a team that's so loaded, so talented, that if they have that will to win again and they sneak into the playoffs, you know, beware. But in my opinion, as of right now, they may not even get into the playoffs. They're a team that has some flaws. I don't know that they have that hunger. You know, they won it last year. I don't know that they have the energy. That's one thing that has to be taken into account. They played a lot of hockey the last 3 years. Same thing could be the factor for Chicago. It's just these teams have made deep playoff runs and played so much more hockey while other teams have been off at home resting. That catches up with you, and we might be seeing that with the Kings and the Blackhawks right now. But the thing is, with both those teams, they've got the goaltending, they've got the pedigree, they've got the experience, they've got the talent that, you know, if they flip that switch, they're going to be a problem. And that's why the Kings are fourth on my list with an outside shot to win it.
All right, and in any case, I mean, do you think that it's worth placing a bet on Nashville, just, you know, considering where they are right now?
I don't think so. You know, I know it's tempting. I would go with the Blues, and I would give a full disclaimer. Everybody who's been watching these videos knows I've had a hard-on for the Blues the last few years, and they haven't come to. It hasn't happened for them. It hasn't happened with Ryan Miller. Hasn't happened with Halak. You know, I don't think Brian Elliott's the guy, but I just like the composition of the team. Good blue line. The offense is there. I would sooner take a shot with them, and, you know, again, I'm probably a bit biased, than I would with anybody else. Nashville, just to me, doesn't have that experience. I can't remember the last time one of these teams has gone from outhouse to penthouse in the regular season and made it count in the playoffs. You know, usually this is, you know, the Predators are already playing with the house's money. They feel like they're successful. Not to say that they're not trying to win a cup. I just think it's a lot to do in 1 year, and I don't think it's going to happen for them.
All right, man. Good stuff, Dave. Hey, thanks a lot for all the insights here. We'll talk some more hockey again tomorrow. Everyone else, don't forget to check back with us tomorrow for some more sports coverage and your free picks. Till then, for SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.